Hello everyone, I'd like to thank Do It Digital for inviting me to speak with you today. Everyone on this webinar will have started their business with an idea, and to turn that idea into a business needs many things, and one of those things is marketing. So lots of businesses that I've met before think marketing is really all about things like posting on social media or having a website. But I can tell you it's much, much more than that, and it does need some work, but don't be too scared, it's not going to be too onerous. So today we're going to get you kicked off on the first steps that you need to complete before you put any time or money into marketing your business. So by the end of this session, you'll have the beginnings of a marketing success plan. This plan will help you focus your marketing efforts and ensure you're successful with your time and money that you spend on marketing. So grab your pen and paper because you're going to do some work. So in the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to cover what you need to create a marketing success plan. But more than that, by the end of this session, you will have the beginnings of your own marketing success plan for your business. So yes, you have to do some work too. We'll cover what your ideal customer looks like, what you're trying to achieve, why anyone should buy from you, where to find your customers, and how you can reach them. When you have your marketing success plan, you'll know exactly how your marketing should help you reach the right people for your product or service. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to who I am. So I started Marketing by Minal last March to help small and medium-sized businesses give their marketing more focus. I've worked in marketing for over 15 years for some UK companies and international ones too. They've all been technology based. In particular, I've worked for interactive technology companies and also software as a service company. So the last position that I had gave me the opportunity to meet loads and loads of small and medium-sized business owners. And that made me realise that these are the types of businesses that I want to work with and help them with their marketing. What's more, now that I own my own small business, I can completely identify with what others like me are experiencing running their businesses. Right now, I'm working with a variety of businesses that sell to consumers as well as to other businesses. You can find me in all of the places on the slide if you'd like to connect with me, and I'll be happy to hear from you in any of those places. I've got quite a burgeoning Facebook page which has been going for as long as I have, and you can see that I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter and Instagram. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to kick off by understanding who our ideal customer is. The more you can build a picture of who is likely to buy your product, or the more effective your marketing is going to be at targeting them. So if we look at the chaps in this picture, what do we understand about the types of things that they might buy? What can we see about them? So we can see that they're quite young, they're into their fashion, probably quite trendy. Their physical appearance tells us that they really want to look after themselves. They're into dressing up nicely and taking care of themselves. So the kind of brands that they might be interested in are maybe ASOS or some other designer brands, and they probably have quite good jobs, so they've got the money to buy more expensive things. So now it's your turn. I want you to take that piece of paper and pen that you've got and think about what your ideal customer looks like. Write down a few of the details about them that cover their age, their sex, where they are in the country. Are they in this country only, or are they international too? How much money do you think they would spend with you? What's their income? So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to write down some ideas about what your ideal customer looks like. And while you do that, I'm going to just see if we've got some questions for anything that I've just talked about. Yeah, so I can see someone has asked me, what if I have more than one customer type? And that is absolutely fine. So you may think that you want your product or service is relevant to more than one type of customer, and that's great, but what you need to do is profile each of those types of customers. So for an instance, a business might have might target women between the ages of 18 and 35, but they might have products that also target women between the ages of 40 and 60. So those two types of customer profiles are going to be slightly different. It's not just their ages that are going to be different, it's going to be what their spending power is, what their income is, what their interests are. So those things are going to be different per customer type, and those are the types of things that you have to understand about your customers to make you understand what makes them tick. Okay, so another question that I have is, I've heard the words customer persona. What do they mean? So yeah, a lot of people talk about customer personas, and what they mean really is what I've just said, is actually profiling your customers and taking down lots of details and understanding everything that they can about them. And the personas are the people that they build these customers into, so the potential customers. And some companies have even been known to give their customer personas names, so that when they look at what they're going to do with their marketing, they might say, well, actually, what would Jim think about this? Because they've identified a customer persona that's a certain type of male. They live in a certain area, they have a certain spending power, they're in a certain income bracket, and they've named this person Jim. And every time that they want to market to that type of persona, they ask themselves what Jim would think about what they're doing and what their marketing message is. So pretty much the same thing, but you can actually then start giving your customer personas a name, and that actually is good because it helps you visualize who your marketing is targeting, and it helps you do your marketing for that one particular person, which then really personalizes it. Brilliant. So let's have a look at some of the things that you've put down in your answers. So I can see that there are a variety of people that you're targeting. They tend to be sort of business age, so working age. There's not very many people that target children, but then I would say that children are influencers in a purchase as opposed to the person that's buying. Yeah, so a variety of ages, both sexes. I can see that there are some people who are targeting people internationally, so it's good to understand a little bit more about those countries' cultures so that you can actually make your marketing resonate to the people that are living in that country, to make that a little bit more relevant to them. Okay, great. So now you know what your ideal customer looks like, and you'll probably want to go away and do more work on this later. That's the first step in creating your marketing success plan. So let's move on to the next thing that you have to do. Let's get my slide to advance. There we go. So the next thing you have to define is what your goal is. And a great way to do this is to make it SMART. So you can see on the screen there that SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So the more specific that you can get about what you're trying to achieve with your marketing, the more it helps you really target where your marketing is going and what you're trying to achieve. And the bonus is that it helps you measure how effective your marketing is. So by setting an overall marketing goal, you can break that down into smaller goals, which I like to call stepping stones, and you can make that thing that you're trying to achieve more manageable. So statements like, I want more sales or I want more customers are not specific enough. So here's an example of a business whose goal is to grow. So I will bring on 3 new clients for my consulting business within 2 months by asking for referrals, launching a social media marketing campaign, and networking with local businesses. This will allow me to grow my business and increase my revenue. So can you see how specific that is? They want to bring on 3 new clients for their consulting business. So that's what they're trying to achieve. Within 2 months, so it's time bound. They know that within 2 months they need to have brought on 2 new clients. And the way they're going to achieve that is by launching a social media marketing campaign. They're going to ask existing customers for referrals, and they're going to network with local businesses. And it's all achievable because they're probably already going to networking events, so they will meet other people there who are potential clients for them. They already have customers, so asking customers to make referrals is actually probably a more easy thing than you think it is, because if your customers love you, they're going to want to refer you. They will. You just have to make the ask. And the social media marketing campaign will help them identify leads, so people who need their services. Now that's the marketing goal, and then they have to do a little bit more work to actually make that happen. So now it's over to you. Can you write down one SMART goal for your marketing? And I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. So let's have a look and see if there are any questions about setting goals. So let's have a look. Yeah, so someone's just asked, can I have more than one marketing goal? Absolutely. And it's good to have more than one marketing goal, because you'll be using different, you'll be trying to achieve different types of things with your marketing. So you may have an overall marketing goal that's to do with getting more clients or selling more products. But then you have different methods by which you're going to do that. So you can have different marketing goals for the different things that you're trying. So for example, you may want to be more effective on social media and get more leads through social media. So a marketing goal could be around increasing your follower engagement on your Facebook page or on your Twitter account or on your LinkedIn page, whichever channel you're using. So that you can have a specific goal where you want to increase your engagement by X% and give yourself a time to do that, and then you're going to say that you're going to do that by posting more engaging videos, perhaps doing some live sessions, having more bite-sized pieces of information that people can access. So you can set yourself quite a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but set yourself several different marketing goals that help you understand what you're trying to achieve with each piece of marketing that you're doing. And remember that setting these goals actually helps you at the end of the time period that you set. It helps you to understand whether what you're doing has worked or not, and that's really, really important. Right, so let's have a look at more questions. This is a good one. What if I didn't achieve the goal I set? Yeah, so I get this question quite a lot. And let me tell you that you'll be disappointed, but it's not the end of the world. These are goals that you're setting for your business. It's what you want to achieve. And if you don't achieve the goal that you set, that's going to tell you something important, because you're going to be measuring what you're doing. And it's going to tell you that some of the things that you did to try and achieve that goal didn't work. And that's okay if you learn what those things are and why they didn't work. Because then what you can do is either tweak them and make them better, and that will help you achieve your goal next time round. Or you can decide, actually, do you know what? I don't understand how I can make this any better, and it's not working. So I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop wasting my time and maybe money in doing this particular activity, because actually it's not helping me. So don't beat yourself up too much if you haven't achieved your goal. It's perfectly fine. This is a sort of stake in the sand for you to aim for. And you will get there in the end. You just need to do a little bit of modification as you go along. Cool. So let's have a look at some of the goals that you have set yourselves. Right, so I can see, yeah, so someone wants to increase the sales of a particular product that they sell by 10% by the end of the year, and they're going to do that by promotions to existing customers. They're going to try and attract new customers by putting out some marketing campaigns. So yeah, that's a good goal. So you've got the 10%, which is what you're trying to achieve, a 10% increase. You've got the time limit by the end of this year, which is realistic. So you can use those stepping stones to get you to that 10% increase by the end of the year. And they're going to do some promotions for existing customers, which is great because it is 7 times cheaper to get an existing customer to buy from you than it is to find a new customer. And they're going to put out some marketing campaigns to attract new customers. So that's great. So it is specific, it's measurable, it's achievable because they've given themselves until the end of the year to do it. It's relevant to their business and it's time bound. So they have a time by which they would need to achieve the goal. Okay, so any more? Yep, so I can see a service related one again, so not that dissimilar to the consulting business example that I just gave you. So I would like to have 4 new clients for my accountancy business in the next 6 months, and the way I'm going to do this is by asking for referrals. Again, good one. And looking at ways that I can use my existing relationships with my partner companies to get new clients. Brilliant. And I'm going to do a social media marketing campaign. Great. So those are, again, specific. So 4 new clients, measurable for 6 months, I think you said, and time bound. So time bound and achievable, and you've got some great examples of how you're going to achieve that. And remember, asking for referrals from clients, as I said, is a good thing because you've given them a great service and they'll be happy to refer you if you just ask them. And it's making that ask, which I know a lot of businesses are nervous about, but if you do it, I can guarantee that you will get referrals. Okay, let's move on to the next step. So why you? That's the next thing that you have to figure out, and you're really looking to understand what makes you different from your competitors. This is known as your unique selling point or your USP, and understanding this will help you understand why people should buy from you instead of your competitors. So you may already have an idea about this, but one great way to find out is from your existing customers. They will be able to tell you exactly why they are your customer, and this information is gold dust. So you can use this information to help your prospective customers, the ones that you want to buy from you, understand why they should choose you by crafting your marketing messages using the information that you've gathered. Now, some of you may not have some customers right now, so how are you going to figure out your USP? So look back at what your ideal customer type is. Do you know any people that fit this profile? Is there anyone in your friends or your family that looks like the type of customer that you want to buy from you? So even if you don't have any customers, you can get valuable information by asking the people that are in your target market, and you never know, they might actually buy from you. So, for example, I believe what makes me different from my competitors is that I've worked as a marketing manager in larger companies, and because of that I can use that expertise to help smaller businesses look at their marketing as a whole and get results from their marketing by making it all pull in the same direction. So whilst I know how to use social media, whilst I know how to use email marketing, whilst I know the basics about website marketing, event marketing, all of those things need to be working hard for you and pulling in the same direction. And my skill is coming in and looking at a business and saying, well, actually, this one thing is working at cross purposes with everything else that you're doing. So that's what makes me different. Right, so now it's over to you. What makes you different from your competitors? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to write down your thoughts, and then you can use this to compare to what you actually get from your target market, what they think about what's different about you. And it's a great way to check if what you think is unique about you is shared by your target market. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. Okay, so I've got a couple more questions come through about this particular slide. What if my customers won't give me their input? Well, that's an interesting one. I've never come across any kind of any customer who isn't willing to share some feedback. It's just about the way that you ask them to do that. So it's about telling them that you value them as a customer and that what they think about your service or your product and your company is really important to you, and that you're always looking for ways to improve what you're doing and the service that you give them. And in particular, you'd like to know why they buy you, why do they value your company. And I can tell you that people will feedback that to you. They'll be happy to tell you. And if you do get anything negative, don't worry, because negative feedback is actually good for you to understand, because you may be doing something that is annoying that particular customer, that annoys a lot of other customers like them, that you don't know about until they've said to you. And it's something that you can work on to improve and make those customers that are unhappy happy, but it also means that you're not going to repeat that with new customers, which means that they'll love you as well. So let's have a look and see if there are any other questions. None of my friends or family fit my customer type. What should I do? Interesting. um, so I would ask your friends or family if they know anyone that fits the type of person that you'd want to buy from you, and ask if they wouldn't mind sending out a link to a survey, so you could put all the questions that you want to ask your potential customer type into a little online survey, and ask if your friends or family wouldn't mind sharing those with their friends who fit the type of customer that you're looking for. Now, if you do that, you're going to have to be very specific about the type of person that you want them to ask on your behalf. But if you've profiled your customer in detail, that should be relatively easy for you. Oh, brilliant. So I can see a few of the USPs coming in. So I provide fun, engaging, accredited training courses. My USP is the fun and engaging way of training while being fully accredited. Great. I've been on any number of courses where I've come out and forgotten what I've learned because it just hasn't been interesting enough. The topic has interested me enough to go to a training course, but I've probably wasted my money because I'm not going to do anything with it afterwards because I just didn't have a good time on the training. So that is a really, really good USP, and it's going to help you really get into the brains of your customers and perhaps get repeat custom from them. Here's another one. I'm very open and honest with our customers, give advice and receive advice back to get the best out of customer experience. So being and open and honest is a really great thing. So I think one of the things that is my part of my brand values is being the type of marketing consultant that is a straight talker. I don't want to blind my clients or prospective clients with marketing jargon that they don't understand. So I like to use plain language, and I like to be very open and honest about what I can and can't do to help them. So I get a number of people ask me the question when I tell them what I do. They say, "Oh, so do you know about SEO?" Which is search engine optimization. And I say, well, no, I know the basics, but and that's enough for me to help myself. But I wouldn't feel right about telling you that I'm an expert and charging you for that service. But what I can do is put you in touch with someone who is an expert and I really trust them. And that is one of the things I'm really, really strict about, is that if I know that I can't provide that service, I don't want to charge somebody for it. I would much rather have lost that client to someone who knows exactly what they're doing, because my business is all about helping businesses do their marketing. Okay, let's have a look. So here's another one. 30 dementia work in daycare careers, support education, research and counselling, multifaceted expertise, really congruent. Ooh. So the 30 years experience is great, but perhaps you need to hone down on what particular USP that you have that someone else doesn't have, because a company that's a competitor to you may have an equal number of years of experience. I like the person-centered dementia work because it means that that's the bit that you're honing in on, and perhaps other companies are more generic about the services that they provide in that area, but you're centering your service around that one person. So that's great. Brilliant. So that's the why you, and you're probably going to want to work on that a bit more. But remember, if you're not able to stand out above the noise, you won't be successful with your marketing. So understanding how you differ from your competitors is really going to help you stand out from the crowd. Brilliant. So let's move on to the next section. Oh, I will close my little chat box. Okay. So now the next thing is, where can you find your potential customers? As with all of the other steps that we've gone through, this is an important step that you have to go through before you actually start doing any marketing. So you need to know where your potential customers are. Now, I'm a big fan of Sherlock, as you can see from the picture. You may not need his deduction skills, because once again, you can ask your existing customers if you already have some. And for those of you who don't have customers, again, you can go back to the people that you know in your friends and family circle who fit your ideal customer type. So talk to them and find out about all the places that they hang out. So if you're going to invest your time and money wisely in marketing, and nothing's for free, I think I'm going to shatter that little illusion. You will have to spend some money on marketing. You need to figure out where your potential customers are. So do they hang out at particular types of events? Do they go to visit particular types of websites? Are there particular blogs that they like to read? Which social media sites do they use? All of this information is going to help you build an accurate picture of where these people are, so that you know where you need to be to market to them. So don't waste time and money guessing. Right, so again, now's your turn to do a little bit of work. So make a list of all the places you think that your potential customers are. So you'll have this handy when you talk to customers or your ideal customer type to see if your lists match up. So again, like the Why Me list, you're thinking about what your USP is. Think about where your potential customers are, and you can match that up once you've found out where they actually are. So over to you. I'll give you a couple of minutes to write those down. Okay, let's just have a look, see if there's a couple of questions that have come. Yep, so here we go. So what if I can't afford to go to the events or conferences that my potential customers attend? Great question. I know budgets are tight and we can't, as small business owners, we can't go to every single conference that there is where our potential customers are likely to be at. So here's the thing. Can you contact the organisers and offer to do a speaking slot for them in exchange for attendance at the conference? Now, you're the expert in what your business delivers. So they and conference organisers, event organisers are always looking for interesting speakers who can talk about the topics that their attendees are likely to be interested in, and it's a way to attract people to go to those events. So what can you offer the event organisers in return for a place at that event or conference? Another question. What's an easy way to ask my customers these things? So if you've only got a few customers, I would say pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and talk to them about the why me and ask them about the places that they visit the most in terms of events, websites, like where do they get their information from? It personalizes the relationship. It gives you a chance to check in with your customers and just make sure everything's okay, and just makes them feel a little bit special. If you have more than is manageable to pick up the phone, what you can do is call a subsection of them, and then create an online survey that you can send out to the rest of them. The beauty of an online survey is obviously it collects in all the responses for you and puts it all in a digestible format that you can then look at. Okay, let's have a look at what people have said in terms of where they can find their potential customers. Someone said exhibitions and LinkedIn research. Yeah, LinkedIn is a great place for you to be if you sell to other businesses. Um, so I have a dog grooming and pet care business. My customers attend events such as Dogs Trust Fun Days, training events, dog grooming shows. This sounds like a fun place to go and hang out with your customers. I would love to do that. So great. So now you know that's brilliant. You know where they are. So someone else has put that they can find their customers on websites like Mumsnet, small business blogs, brilliant. Social media, so specific Facebook groups. Facebook groups are great. Facebook groups are really getting quite a good interaction level, and I'm a member of a few of them, and I actually find them more useful than LinkedIn groups, even though I sell to other businesses. I feel that LinkedIn groups have stagnated, whereas there is much more interaction, support, and help on Facebook. So that's just me. So events, so industry expos, yes, definitely. Independent businesses or women's networking events, great. And speaker series. Let's have a look. Can they advertise on Borrow My Doggy? That's huge. I love Borrow My Doggy. It's like dog porn for me. I do want to get a dog eventually. Yes, if Borrow My Doggy lets you advertise, that would be one way. but something that's probably easier for you to go and ask of them and probably won't cost you any money is to ask them whether you could write for their blog if they have one, because then that positions you as an expert in pet care, and it gives them content that they don't have to think about, and they'll promote your content to their visitors and readers. We've found providing the quick link to Google reviews on our emails and say we're a small business always looking to get feedback works well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So asking for feedback is something that I think that we as small business owners don't do enough of. And I have to keep reminding myself, if you don't ask, you don't get. It's one of my favourite phrases, and whenever I think of asking for something and I feel a little bit guilty or a little bit shy, I just think, well, what's the worst thing that they can say? They can say no, and that is the worst thing. And if they say no, you move on to the next person and ask them. But if they say yes, you can get a brilliant review for your website. Yeah, social media, so specific pages, i.e. local groups, fashion, design related groups, small business networking. Brilliant. Craft fairs and markets, great if you're in the making business, if you're creating things, actual physical things. Craft fairs and markets is a brilliant place to be. And fashion blogs, I can't recommend blogging enough. So if you can find your potential customers, if you find that they visit certain blogs, you should see if you can start targeting those blogs to take your content, because then you're reaching people in someone else's space that may not necessarily know that you exist. Is local radio a good platform to advertise? It can be. I haven't tried radio advertising myself, and it can be, and I think it requires a certain amount of budget, so make sure that you know what you're going into before you agree. But there are plenty of people who want local places to buy things, products or services, so it can be, but like I said, know your objectives before you start. So set that SMART goal before you do your radio advertising. What do you want to achieve, and by when? And make sure that local radio is where your because your potential customers are. Do they listen to the local radio? So make sure you've done those first few steps that we've been through before you go and spend money on radio advertising. Brilliant. Okay, so let's go on to the last thing that you need to do, which is how will you reach your customers? So you know that you will have a toolbox of things that you can use to reach your customers, but you also need to understand how you're going to move them to buy, because the reality is that if your marketing isn't helping you move people to buy, it's as bad as doing no marketing. But you're in a better place than most business owners now, because when you've completed this fifth thing, you'll have the beginnings of your marketing success plan, and that's going to help you produce results. So you will have to complete the plan fully by doing more research than we've got time for today. But you've already started, right? And it's worth finishing because it's not nearly as scary now. You've got started and you're on your way. So next, what you need to do is figure out all the tools that you've got in your toolbox that will help you reach your potential customers. These are going to form the components of any marketing campaigns that you do. So anyone who's just gone, marketing campaign? What? What is that? It's really simple. A marketing campaign is you pushing content to pull a response from your target audience. That's all it is. And if all the tools in your marketing toolbox are working together and in harmony, your message is stronger and it gets seen by more people more often. So every time you use a marketing tool, think about what action you want your audience to take. Is it to visit your website, or is it to join your mailing list, or do you want them to book an appointment with you? Be specific about what you want your audience to do and make it really easy for them to do it. You also don't need to be scared to ask people to buy. Just don't do it on every single piece of marketing because that's going to put people off. They need to know, like, and trust you, which you need to work for. But remember that you're running a business to make money. So getting that sale is really important as well. Okay, so over to you. Write down all the marketing tools that you have. Okay, so let's see if we've got any questions. Oh, so somebody is just going back to the previous slide. Somebody said, I'm terrified of blogging and thought of vlogging, and the thought of vlogging is super scary. Is there any advice to start this? Well, the first thing is that little plug for Do It Digital. They're actually doing an event on vlogging on the 27th of February. So if you want to know more details about that, go and visit the Do It Digital website. I'm sure all the details will be up there. So if you're scared of blogging, the thing that I would say to you is that you know 100% more about your business and your field than your customers do. And every piece of advice that you give them is really valuable to them. So starting off, if you're terrified of vlogging, start off with blogging. Your blogs don't have to be that long. They have to be, to get good organic search results, they have to be over 300 words. If you use a WordPress and have the Yoast plugin, the SEO plugin, it will tell you whether your post is long enough. It will tell you lots of things about how good your post is for SEO. The best thing to do really is have a content plan. So have a plan of the post that you want to write in advance, so that when you come to writing it, you just look at the topic and say, right, today I'm writing about this, and you plan it. And normally what I do is I start in the middle and I leave the beginning and the end until I've written the middle bit. So if I'm writing, I'm actually, my next week's blog post is about, it's called The Science Behind an Email That Gets You Action, or something like that. And so I wrote the middle bit first. I basically cut out every single piece of an email. So I've used a newsletter of mine as an example and given people advice on every single section of an email. And then I went back and wrote the end part, the thing that I want people to take action on. Once I'd done that, I went back to the beginning and I wrote the introduction. So questions about how people will reach their customers. So, I'm not sure about using Facebook, but a friend of mine says I should. Okay. What you need to do is go back and look at where your customers hang out. Because Facebook is working particularly well for a friend of yours, that could be because his or her potential customers all hang out on Facebook. Now, is that true for you? And if it isn't, then I would say don't waste your time using Facebook. So you could have a Facebook page where you post maybe once a day, because Facebook is the biggest social network, so it is worth having a presence there. But it may be that more of your customers use LinkedIn, and that's where you want to focus your time and energy. Let's have a look. Someone's asked me, because I've got flyers on the slide, do flyers really work? Yes, they do, if you're clear about what you want people to do, so the action that you want them to take, and if you're clear about how you're going to track whether that's the action has been taken. So, for example, coming back to the lady who goes to craft fairs, she might be handing out I'm assuming it's a lady. She might be handing out flyers with an action for people to take. So, to measure whether people have taken that action, perhaps she's giving a discount of something. People can only access that discount if they tell her what the discount code is that's on the flyer. So now you know that that discount code is specific to the flyer that you've handed out, And if someone comes and buys something from you using that discount code, you know that they've had one of your flyers. And so you can keep a track of how many customers you get that way. So make sure that you give people, you're really clear about what action you want them to take, and you have a way on your flyer to track to make sure it's working. Cool. Let's have a look, see if you've put down tools that you're using. So social media, yes. Website, yes. Business cards, yes. One tip that I would give you about business cards is make them work really hard for you. So we hand out business cards so people can have our contact details. There are two sides on a business card, and quite often I get handed business cards from people where the back of the business card is either blank or it just has the company logo on it. All of my business cards, I have one design on the front, two designs on the back. One design gives people a link to join my mailing list, and the other design gives people a link to book a free 30-minute consultation with me. So they go away with my business card, they have my contact tools, but my contact details, but on the other side, I'm giving them an action to take. Okay. How many times do you think it's appropriate to post on social media? That's a great question. How long is a piece of string? So it varies by social media channel, and you really need to test into what works for you. So on Facebook, I tend to post once a day, but I go and look at my Facebook insights and have a look on that day, last week, what time was my Facebook audience online the most, and I post around that time on that day. Twitter is a much faster moving social platform, so you have to post multiple times, and I'd say post a minimum of 5 times a day. LinkedIn is a professional network, and I tend to post 3 times a week, and I test out which times of the day work better, because people may only look at LinkedIn in a break or a lunch hour or on the way to a meeting in the morning. So test out what times work for you. If you're using Instagram and you have over 100 followers, Instagram also has insights that tell you the times of day most of your followers are on Instagram. So use those tools to help you understand when to post. Any advice for marketing to children via parents? Wow. So children are the influencers of parents buying things. So I think you have to. I think there's legislation about what you can and can't market to children. I'm not an expert in this area, so be careful that you're not crossing any lines in terms of legislation. But when you're talking to a parent about what you're selling in terms of their child to use, look at the pain points that that's going to solve for the parent. So if it's a child's toy that is going to keep them occupied for when a parent is driving a child somewhere, look at the pain points for the parent at that point and use those pain points and outline the benefits of your product as opposed to what it means for the child. My website doesn't seem to be engaging customers enough. Should I ask potential customers or pay a professional? I'm not sure what that means, but hopefully you used a professional to design your website in the first place. So going back to when I said you will have to spend some money on marketing, I can't tell you how important it is not to have a DIY website. It's really important to pay somebody who knows what they're doing to give you a website that looks good and fits your brand, particularly if you're an online business only like me. I don't have a shop front, but my website is my shop front, and it needs to represent my brand. It needs to represent me And if you have a DIY website, it's doing your brand no favors. So for the person who's just asked that question, if it is a DIY website, then I would get a professional to look at it and um, help you understand all the things that they can do to make that website better and make it better performing. The other thing that I would do is, again, start thinking about blogging. So incorporate a blog onto your website that you share via social media, via your newsletters, anywhere that you can share your blog posts, which then gets readers back to your website. Hopefully they will look around the rest of your website once they've finished reading your blog post. But I really recommend using proper, not accredited, but recommended web designers to give you a really good website. Read the back of the business card. How many people actually do take action after you hand them the business card? So I've had a number of people join my mailing list. So I track where my people come from. So I have different lists depending on where I've put links to my website. So I've probably had, I don't know, about 10 or 15 people join my mailing list from the back of my my business card, and the consultations are probably not as popular, but I think I probably tend to hand out the newsletter one more than the consultation one. But I think try it and see, but make sure you have a way of tracking it. So like I do, I have a bit.ly link on the back of my business card, so I know how many times it's been clicked, and they go into a separate list in my email tool so that I know that they've come from my business cards. I post every 4 hours on Facebook. Selling sites. Anything more than this and people get a little annoyed. Yeah, I would say posting every 4 hours on Facebook is probably a little bit too much, but definitely Facebook is they're being more selective about what shows up in front of people anyway, but it's not akin to Twitter where you need to post more regularly. So I'd say definitely don't treat Facebook like Twitter and post a lot during the day. We place business cards with our local partners that are some of our raving fans. They get us new business and we give them bottles of wine. Brilliant. That's brilliant. So that's a great way to use complementary, businesses that are complementary to your own to get referrals. And that's something that you can either incentivize them with a bottle of wine. I'd do it. Or you can reciprocate. So you can take their business cards and refer them on to your clients who want those services or products. That's a great idea. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of this. I'm just going to take a couple of more questions. Let's have a look. So my website is professional and I have an online shop which is all secure, yet traffic to the website is not as good as I would like. What is the best way to promote it? So I would say, I'm not knowing too much about what you sell in your shop. I would say that the things that you need to do is build your credibility. So build your credibility by giving really good advice around what you sell. So for me, I sell my marketing services and all my advice is around how businesses can achieve more with the marketing that they do. And you may feel like you're giving away stuff for free, but I can honestly tell you that actually people will continue to buy from you even though you're giving them advice that you think perhaps the advice is something that you could be selling to them. It's the act of giving them something for free that's making them think, well, oh, this person's really great. They've told me how to do X, Y, Z for free, and yeah, I can do that myself. But the next time I need to do something a little bit more complicated, that's the person I'm going to go to, because they're knowledgeable, they don't mind giving me some help for free, and because of that I really like them. So that's a good thing to do. The other thing that I would recommend is blogging. I know people are going to think, oh no, not blogging again, but it really helps get people to your website. So I know I try and write a blog every week, and every time I send out a newsletter or post on social media, that automatically bumps up traffic to my website, and it's because I'm not trying to sell people anything, but I'm giving them advice, and they value that, and they will come to my website to read. For me, what I tend to do as well is people who perhaps haven't are not already on my mailing list. My aim is to get them to my website with my blog post, and then once they're on my website, offer them something that they find valuable in return for their email address, which means that they get onto my mailing list, which means that then I can start talking to them on a more regular basis and work out ways that I can get them to actually buy my services. Okay, so let's just have a sum up. So great. Right, so that is your marketing success plan, and you're most of the way to completing it now. So please do go away after this and really finish it, because I can tell you that it's going to make a massive difference to what your marketing results will be. So remember to go through systematically and paint a detailed picture as you can about who your ideal customer is. Be really specific about what you're trying to achieve, because you want to make sales at the end of the day, and you have to remember this. Figure out what your USP is and use this in your marketing messages to make you stand out from your competitors. Do your research on where your potential customers are, because this is going to help you understand where to focus your marketing efforts. And work out what's in your marketing toolbox. Now, that's not going to stay static. You will want to try new things, but make sure that the new tools that you try do help you to reach your potential customers. So I hope I've given you a taster of how you can achieve marketing success. And before we close for today, I'd like to share a couple of things with you. So, as I've mentioned, I have some free resources. I've mentioned my newsletter and my blog throughout this webinar. So if you'd like to join my mailing list, that's the link. So it's bit.ly.com/Minal's News. If you want to go and read my articles, you can go to my blog post. It's marketingbyminal.com/blog. So as a reminder, I will send you the slides and the recording. It's likely to be next week, because we have to get this recording uploaded onto YouTube. And if you don't already join my mailing list off the back of this, I will add you to my mailing list. Now, I want you to be secure in the knowledge that only I have access to your details. They will never be shared. If you find that my emails are no longer relevant to you, you can unsubscribe. There's a link at the top of every single email that I send out. I'll just be really sorry to see you go. And the last thing I want to leave you with is how I can help you. So I know that fitting marketing in around everything that you're already doing is going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you need to figure out, but you probably don't have, and I know that you don't have a massive budget, so I've put together a special package for you. So I'm offering you the opportunity to benefit from my marketing expertise for only £360 plus VAT. So what this will get you is 4 one-to-one sessions with me. Each of them lasts an hour. But if you book by the end of this month, I'll give you a 5th session for free. So, and to make it easier for you to budget, you can pay by monthly installments. So to book your mentoring sessions, go to the link on the website. So on the screen, it's bit.ly/mbm-accelerate, and enter your details. Now, all you need to do to secure your mentoring sessions is pay a £50 deposit. So let's recap. You'll get 5 months worth of mentoring from me, and each session will only cost you £72 plus VAT. So the normal cost for 1 hour would be £90 plus VAT. So that's a saving of over £100. Remember, the 5th session is an hour for free if you secure your sessions by the end of this month. Okay, so once again, thanks for joining me, and now I'm going to hand over to Hannah from Do It Digital.